Hey guys, happy Monday. I told you I was checking in today. I hope everyone is doing absolutely amazing. So I am reaching out. I have so many updates for you guys, which I'm not going to do on this call, but I've definitely sent an email out and then follow up with a live video. But I'm reaching out today because I actually have gotten the same question about 3 or 4 times today. Very interesting. And I wanted to bring it into the group since I've heard the question a number of times. And hey, Luana, how are you? And really just kind of touch on it just a little bit. So the question that I keep getting is, how do I set myself apart? Like how do I define my key differentiator? How do I show that I have a different type of value than the average staffing agency? How do I look different? And, I want to touch on that a little bit because there are definitely ways that you can do that. A lot of people use quality, and you've heard me say, let them know that you have quality candidates. But I think that when you are in this space and time where everyone is screaming that they have quality, it's important to find what sets you apart from that quality, right? What sets you apart? So quality what? What do you have that's quality? Hey, Charlene, how are you? I'm amazing, Luana. Thank you so much for asking. I hope you're amazing as well. And so I guess I want to ask a question. How many of you know who your hardcore competition is? Anybody? Can you name the top 3, 4, 5 firms in your area that is doing recruitment in the space that you're doing recruitment? So yes, you can add the larger agencies if they have a larger portion of the market share, but only if they are servicing people within your particular niche. So my question is, what do you know about your competition that's placing the same types of positions that you are? So like, who are your top 3 or top 5, right? I want you to write it out. And what are they charging? Hey, Ida, how are you? What are they charging? Are they charging, what are they charging on the direct hire side? What are they charging on the contract side, right? You need to know that. You also want to find out how they're running their business, right? So like, what is their model? I was talking to someone earlier and they said that Robert Half was in their space. And so I know that Robert Half has their own kind of unique recruiting model. And but a lot of people don't know that. You've got to actually call the competition or have a friend of yours call the competition so that you can figure out how your competition is actually functioning. Because when you understand how they're functioning, what they're charging, what their strengths are, and what their weaknesses are, then you can then define what your key differentiator is. Because now you understand the landscape. And that's just at a very surface level, right? But I do want to get you in that mindset of really looking at what's already being presented to the same customers that you want to do business with. And that's going to be super imperative. And that's something that I really don't discuss in the academy or Six-Figure Staffing. And I'm actually going to add a module to that so that you guys will understand kind of the process. And it'll be under I think the orientation section, learning the business. I give you all the reasons why companies want to use recruitment and staffing businesses. And clearly, if you're a niche agency, and when I say niche, I don't mean healthcare or IT. I'm talking about you've established yourself as, with your niche within a niche, right? So that's a great question, Sharon. And how are you? It's so good to see you. So I don't mean just healthcare. So if you place RNs for cardiovascular, or you place RNs for OBGYN, right? Then that is a key differentiator, but it's just one, right? So what else? So that's the first thing you can say. Before you ever say quality, you can say literally, well, first of all, we focus on placing RNs in the cardiovascular space. So I noticed that your unit has blah, 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 blah. All we do is talk to these folks. But that's just the starting point, even though I think that's one of the better points. In addition, while Robert Half, who I know services your company, and whoever else does their process like this, we actually do our process like that. I know that they offer this, but we offer that, this and that, right? So you can really sit and establish yourself, you know, and you'll be able to show it if you write it out. That's one of the reasons why I'm telling you guys to write it out, because then you'll be able to create a chart and show what you're doing differently based on what they're doing. And we see that all the time when you think about, I don't know, I've gone to a number of websites or even on some commercials. I haven't watched TV in a long time, so I could be outdating myself. Hey, Constance, it's always good to see you. So I could be outdating myself, but you ever seen those commercials or those websites where they'll have kind of a checkbox and they'll have their, you know, all three of their competitors and then them, or two of their competitors and then, like Downey has this, not this. Dawn had whatever. I'm just going through. So it's the same exact way. And you can do something different like that to show your key differentiator. You can also check out what industry benchmarks are out there and then benchmark what you do based on what the industry is doing. So you can do that as well. So those are just little small tips to kind of help you so that you're able to define what separates you a little bit, not a little bit, hopefully a lot differently than every other staffing agency out there. Sharan, to answer your question, she said, so what would be some questions to ask? First of all, you probably don't want to be the one to call into your competitor. Especially Robert Half, they are very aggressive. So you definitely don't want to call in. You want to get somebody else to call in, but you want to actually walk through the process. You can't just call your competitor in most instances and say, hey, what do you do differently, right? So you really want to try to get somebody to call in that is a friend who works at a company and just like, hey, we're interested, we're potentially interested, or we're what is the word I'm looking for? We are, you know, doing our research on agencies in the area and wanted to know, you know, for hiring an RN, what's your process? Or for hiring a project manager, what's your process? Because when you understand what your competitors are doing, then you can clearly differentiate yourself from them. Does that make sense? I kind of went all over the world with that. I'm hoping that makes sense. I want you guys to be able to establish, you know, to be able, and it's so interesting because what was I watching? I was watching something and a startup grind, I think. And they were asking the guy, and I'll find the video and share it with you, but they were asking the guy, one of the reasons why they don't, hey, Latasha, one of the reasons why they don't use staffing agencies. And, you know, of course, he said, everyone says the same thing, quality. And that's the one thing that they don't provide. He said it's almost like there is this whole, the way he was describing it, I'm kind of paraphrasing, but he was just basically saying that it's almost like the whole industry is on record and they're all saying the same thing. I have quality, I have quality, I have quality. And then when you go and work with them, you know, they're basically presenting the same things that they've already found. And so between watching that and then it must have been in that energy and then just getting the question, I got it on YouTube, somebody texted me, I got an email, it came up in a conversation to the point where I was just like, okay, this is something that I think that I want to share with the community and make sure that you guys are really like being strategic and methodically thinking about like, okay, how am I different? Right? Beyond quote unquote quality. How am I different? Right? Because you can't prove that you provide quality candidates until you start placing them. So, so that's kind of subjective, to be honest with you. There's no proof in that, right? Unless you have a record of of clients that are consistently saying, that you have quality or you've been voted best agency for quality. I think Constance got an award a year ago or 6 months ago or something, where she was voted best something in some area. And I don't know if that was either Constance or Trudy, but when you get accolades like that, then yes, you can say those things. But until you get to that point, you've got to be able to prove yourself in a different manner prior, right? To be able to say, I'm different than what you're already experiencing. I really feel like the niche is definitely one of the things that's going to set you apart. You're hearing it more and more everywhere you go. I know you are. Because I'm hearing it more and more. I'm so thankful. And it's so funny. A guy reached out to us the other day. He said he was online doing a search on how to start a niche staffing business, and I was everywhere. So I thought, wow, that stays a lot, because most people just look for how to start a staffing business. So that just goes to show you how things are really shifting to, this niche space, and it's going to continue to get more and more aggressive. My dog scratched me. Y'all see that? We were singing and wrestling and he scratched me. Anyway, so that was what I wanted to share today, and just kind of get that off my heart. And hopefully I inspired someone, one of you that are watching live or that are watching the replay, to really take a look at your target market and your surrounding area, or if you're doing business nationwide, typically who your clients use. Sharon, definitely I would ask your current clients who else they're using, right? I would literally ask them, what other agencies do you use? And ask them their feedback about them. What do you like the most about them? What don't you like about them? Because if you start to see patterns, y'all know I talk about patterns, right? I've become very obsessed with them. But if you start to see patterns, then you'll be able to really kind of shift your narrative around what your key differentiator is in your business. Okay. Sharon said, I have my current clients that write personal references, and I use it with my new clients. It works. It definitely works. Also, if you can get them on your website, that'll be great as well, because then some people, that's great as well. So don't be afraid of that. But the one thing that you want to do consistently, like whether you're talking to candidates or clients, I say, is ask questions. Because the more questions you get, and I've said this for years, like literally write down a list of questions of things that you feel like are most important for you to know about the market, and how they feel about the market, and then utilize that to help you create content and to help you to be able to define what your market is wanting and needing, so that you can be that different staffing agency. So when people refer to you, they can say, you know what, you need to go to her. She's different. And that's what you want, right? Constance said they received 2 awards 2 years in a row. That's amazing, right? So, all right, I just wanted to share that with you. I don't think we have a Q&A call this week, but I will be chiming in throughout the course of the week over and over and over and over and over again. And then I'll also be giving you guys updates. You'll see a lot of them coming via email. But I will be giving you guys updates throughout the course of the week as we're shifting things around in the company and just trying to provide a better service. Y'all know I'm on a mission to create lots and lots and lots of wins. I don't want to see anybody taking a year or 2 to set up the business. No more. That time is over. Now it's time to get the business set up in 3-4 weeks, less. And let's start getting to working in the business, talking to clients, understanding who you are, what services and solutions you provide. We want to get past any type of barriers that you have around sales and business development, around calling candidates, around research. I really want to get you guys in the right mindset so that you can be as profitable as possible. Did I say profitable? As possible. I love each and every one of you. I am so amped up about the new ATS video. It's coming out in April. That's ridiculous. But do you know how many interviews I did? It was insane. How many demos I did? I'm in like ATS, and they're like all emailing me, oh, we got a new mobile app. They're like competing against each other, right? So it's coming out this week, which I'm super excited about. The New Orleans boot camp footage is coming out this week. I'm super excited about that. The Houston footage won't be out this week. I've got to fill them out. Look at this. 2, 4. Ooh, I just dropped it. 5. It came up to like almost a terabyte in data. I can't even upload it to my videographer. I actually have to, oh, sorry about that. I have to take this video. It's just too much. We've already tried. It's taken us days. I was like, I finally just stopped the uploads. So I have to actually put it on an external hard drive, a Lacy, and I'm shipping it to my videographer. And it is going to take him about 2 weeks to get that done. But New Orleans is coming up, and we're not selling New Orleans for purchase, to be honest with you. And not, at least not right now. We did open it up for a week. I think we had 2 people that signed up for it. So, but it will be up for the people who did attend New Orleans. So that'll be up and available. And then the Houston boot camp will be coming up very shortly afterwards with the footage on that. So I'm super excited about that. As it takes a lot to get those videos edited, the lighting, the what do you call it? The sound, chopping up the videos. It is not like a very short process, right? So I'm very excited to have those up and going. And I'm going to miss you guys on Wednesday, but we will definitely be connecting throughout the course of the week. I love each and every one of you. I hope you are doing amazing in your business and moving along. If you are one of those people that are waiting for your website or waiting for, I've got 3 staffingpreneurs I'm working on content for. There are other things that you can clearly be doing in your business right now. 1 is the research assignment I gave you today. 2, understanding your target market, right? We did that in the $1 Million Playbook. Many of you have access to the $1 Million Playbook. I went through the $1 Million Playbook in detail in Houston, but they didn't even know they were going through it again. And people actually finished their playbooks. Wanda Petty was like screaming at the end. She was like, I got 27 plays. Now that warmed my heart to hear somebody talk about they have 27 strategies that they can implement in their business today. And they have a playbook that they can go to. So if you haven't been in your $1 Million Playbook training in a long time, I encourage you to go back there. Get into the training, understand who your target market is, where they're located, what they want, what they need, and where you want to take them. Those are the 4 key areas and so forth. So I've got some things coming up in the pipeline, which I'm excited about, but I got to wait until we get through all these little changes. So I'm over here just simmering on it, simmer it, which will also include changes to the Blitz Challenge, which I think will be good for everybody. And then it won't be stressful for me. And I know for the team captains, they want to participate, but it's not something that they can do like every other month. So it won't be so overwhelming for them as well. And so I'm excited. It's a lot of good stuff, I'm excited. I hope you guys are having an amazing day again. I'm going to hang up for real this time. I love you. Mwah. I will see you guys later in the week. Bye. Awesome.